we'll find out, I guess. So that'll be for this game specifically. We'll do it that way. All right. We're going to start over, though, because I was falling asleep, like I said. So we're starting all over. Even though there's a load, we're starting over. So, all right. I want to play. I don't know what the last visit is versus this. We're going to do the director's cut. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get a drink while the opening is going.
I arrived at Blackwood Manor one cold Saturday morning amidst a thick veil of fog. The weather didn't look good, and there was an unnatural calm surrounding the area, yet I soon became entangled with the place.
All right. Now, I realize that normally I read the intro stuff. I figured you guys could read it yourself this time. So, for once, while I was taking care of other stuff. So, I think I said it, but just in case I missed it, welcome Fofox and Silhouette both. Okay, so this is a point and click. So I don't know how much you may or may not remember, but because it's a point and click, we can only do things if we get a prompt that allows us to. Guess we could not. We could honk. Wasn't the car's starter. I don't know what they're trying to say with that, but okay. All right, and this game is not confined to the car, so we'll leave now. It's just making sure if there was something in the car we wanted before that we wouldn't leave it. It was the boot of my car, which, considering my non-existent technical expertise, I hoped I would never need to open. Remember, boot in British slang means the trunk. Obviously, you could see what we're pointing to, so. This is a little sensitive, as you can tell. I'm barely moving, and it totally spins around, so. The imposing main gates were guarding the entrance to the manor. Even if I wanted to leave, I could not do so on foot. Oh, it's the same thing now, okay. So also, because this is a point and click, we need to find things that we can interact with, not just, they won't just be presented to us automatically. Mailbox. Mailbox was empty, okay. Nothing else at the zoomed in mode, right? To see, doesn't look like it, okay. Okay, so we can go, I guess, just forward on the path. There's not really another way to go currently. Technically, you could probably walk across that, but I guess it's not going to let us. A garage of some kind over here. Some drums of something. Don't know. They might be empty. They might have oil in them. We don't know right now. A hefty lock was preventing my entry to the garage. There was no way I could open it with my bare hands. So we can't get in the garage right now. Okay. Guess we'll head back out. Never played this before, except Halloween, where I started it and then but I was falling asleep. So, but I've never played this game before, just like most games. So this is all new to me. Alright. It's back to the car. I vaguely remember little bits of this, like this outer part. Some of it I remember. Not a lot, but a little bit. Wait, what? So I can only go down the right side? I can't go down the left side? Or something? Maybe that's just move forward, or I don't know. Interact with this? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so now I can go to the left. Or up the steps. Since there's more outside to explore, let's go this way, I guess. Oops, this way. There we go. I don't know. I imagine with cobblestone and stuff like this, they probably aren't going to have a lot of hard-to-find clues that way. There might be some. Probably won't have a lot, though, because that would be a big chore, searching through all these little dots to try to find the one clue you're trying to get a hold of. That would be kind of annoying, actually. Probably possibly turn a lot of players off. They're like, I don't want to spend 5,000 hours looking for this. I don't blame you. You don't. Oh, so we can go side pass or side path, which looks like it winds to the left anyway, but just down that way. Or we can go straight. So we'll go straight for now. It's nice, right? It's really graphically well done. This is an older game, too. This is, I want to say it's like early 2000s. Hang on a sec. Let me see. Whoops. Apparently that didn't get me out of that. Okay, hang on. This was 2006 is when this was done. So it's quite a while ago. Wow. Okay, hang on. Let me get back into into this. Okay. Now I got the full screen again. Yeah. So it's all not quite, but almost 15 years old now. When I first started my YouTube channel, it was only 6 years old. Yeah. Yes, I've been doing YouTube that long. Sad to say in a lot of ways. Because I haven't really put effort into making the channel big. I just kind of toy around with it, right? Have fun and play, which is fine. It's kind of the point. You should have fun with what you're doing anyway, but you know, it's not the way to make your channel big. Which is fine. That was never actually my goal anyway. There, we go down here farther. Kind of feel like we go farther, follow this to the end, and then on the way back up, we'll look at these other alternate ways. Let's go this way first. Whoops, this way. There we go. Some stones, but I'm not seeing any kind of footprints or anything. So we are supposedly a writer whose imagination has been stirred by the legend of stuff in this manor. So we've come here to kind of enjoy sucking in the atmosphere and stuff, but obviously not everything that seems worth investigating is worth investigating. Not everything that seems safe is actually safe. There's a small pool of water below the arching tree. The tree had a little hole in its base, which allowed some water to pass through. None of this other stuff, analysis-wise, seems to give you anything more. Okay, so that's it for there. Just looked at that. That probably will come into play at some point. Maybe we have to get some water from underneath the tree, or maybe we have to knock the tree over, but because it's got the water under it, it's loose or something. I don't know. Probably will have something to do with that later, though, I would imagine. But maybe not. It could just be we filled this in, so there are more details. Things, it's more immersive, right? Things feel more like the world is real. Okay, as far as I could tell, you can't go that way, or at least we're not getting a prompt. So as far as I could tell, I'll just go back now. And then we had... Oh, right, I have to go one more up the path, and then to the left is this. Yeah. Yeah, I've discovered, like, it's kind of duh, but but sometimes it takes me a bit to catch on, that unless a point-and-click game has a considerable amount of humor or something to it, like the Broken Sword series, other than that, those situations, point-and-clicks tend to be games I cannot play when I'm really tired, or I will fall asleep. It's the reason I tried to play this relatively early during my stream, like maybe, I think 4 a.m., but even that was because of how tired I was on Halloween, right? Even that was a little bit too far. I probably should have started with scratches and then done some of the other stuff afterward, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, so I guess we're not close enough to really analyze anything there yet. I'm not seeing anything else on the ground or on the sides, so I guess we just approach. Got a nice little overhang here. The door to the greenhouse was stuck, probably due to some serious rusting of its hinges. Okay. I almost succeeded, but in spite of my efforts, the door wouldn't budge. It was hopeless. The rust wouldn't allow this door to be opened. Okay. Nothing up above here. Okay, so again, I'm assuming at some point we will get in here, but we'll need some items. One or more items to do so, I imagine. Okay, and then this way? This way was further. Yes, it's got to be this way. You almost can't tell there's a path there. Had we not come from there, it might be more difficult. Might have been more difficult to tell. Okay, I have psoriasis, and my feet today, feet and ankles are being itchy, and I want to scratch them, but scratching makes it much worse. I gotta resist, discipline myself, and not scratch. All right. Anyway, this was the other path we had passed up. We continued that way. See how this kind of, maybe not exactly, but it kind of goes to the same. Whoops, I went way too hard to let you see, but kind of goes to the same basic spot, but not exactly the same, of course. And we also cannot really go back there, apparently. We have to go this way. Okay. I mean, go that way or go back. Oh, wait. Was there something to analyze here? Did I missed? Yeah. What is this? Soil in this area of the garden was devoid of life. Well, yeah, okay. All right. So is that the same prompt here? Yeah, okay. See, you totally think you should be able to go that way, but it's not going to let you. Okay. This. Ooh, this is like a mausoleum or something? Like a separate burial, or maybe this is a church. Why would they have a church, though, next to... That seems odd to me. Out of place. Maybe it's not a church. It has a bell like a church, but maybe it's not actually a church. Huh. Okay. Massive double doors leading to the interior of the chapel were locked. Alright, I guess. Let's go back out. So I think we've explored that as much as we can for now. Still nothing by this little fountain. Except for going the other directions, doesn't look like you can do much from here either. Okay. What? Oh, that's a wall sticking that far out? Wow. It's a lot farther out on this side than the other. Does it look like that from back here? Oh yeah, I guess it does. I didn't notice that's so protruding. Okay, anyway. Let's see. Oh, whoa, Xexor, calm down. Whoa. There's this, which is super important, I'm sure. A pair of lamps, the front, were awfully dirty and covered in dust. See? Without that vital detail, we probably couldn't continue the game. So it was very important that I noticed that. Okay. So I guess here. Door to the house was locked, fortunately. Fortunately, so like other people didn't steal stuff. I don't know. Is there? No. How do I get my inventory? I don't know. Maybe I do need to want this. Is there a setup? Alternate control. Nope. Okay, so that's not it. Okay, well, in that case, what... Ah, right click. Right click does it, okay. And then... This one? There we go. With very little effort, the key unlocks the front door. Well, does that mean that Were there two things that were locked? There was the chapel, and then there was another thing that was locked, right? Wasn't there? Over this way? That just goes to the chapel, right? This had a thing off to the right. One more, I think, and then off to the right. Yeah, here. Did this... I wonder... He didn't fit there. What about this one? No. Okay, neither key works. Okay. Those are the only keys I have, so none of the others... Oops. I guess I go one more. None of the others do anything, but I figured I had keys. While I'm out here, we'll check. I'll probably end up finding other keys, I'm assuming. Alright, let's go inside maybe? There we go. Ooh. Okay, let's see what's over here. A tiny vase. Wait, what? Somebody is calling me? Where's the phone? I don't know where the phone is. Hang on. Phone. That's a clock. That's not a phone. I thought about calling Jerry, but I couldn't remember his number in London. No. So I guess that's what was ringing. So I guess that'll ring again maybe? At some point? Okay. So tiny vase. Okay. Seriously? Okay. I get it. There's a phone.
Hello? Michael, it's me. Hey, Jerry. It's good to hear your voice. I see that piece of junk you got there is working. My thoughts exactly. I was afraid it'd fall apart as soon as I laid my fingers on it. So how did you find everything? Do you like the place? It's hard to tell yet. I'm very impressed, that's for sure. You sound odd. Is everything okay? Yes. It's perfectly fine. It's just that I'm in awe. I mean, pleasantly surprised. This house is like a dream come true. So you do like it? You got me worried there for 1 second. I'm telling you, I'm going to turn this place into a factory of horror stories. Good. You ought to finish that book. I'm rooting for you, mate. You sure everything is in order? Well, I just got here. Let me have a look around, and I'll get back to you if I find anything strange. Excellent. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. I'm clearly not even remotely close to the best at doing different accents and stuff, but I feel like that was not a great British accent. But maybe that's a dialect in Britain that I've not really become familiar with. I don't know. Maybe it has that feel. Let's try this for the third time now. A tiny vase, almost hidden in a corner, completed the modest furnishings in the lobby. There was a huge vase of oriental craftsmanship standing by the windows. It was a rather torn umbrella. The time was 9 a.m. All right. Let's go over here first. We're not going to examine that vase, apparently. I always wanted to be a pianist, but eventually found another use for my fingers. I'm not going to try to British this guy up the whole time, since he only sounds slightly British anyway. It was all gibberish to me. Oh, you don't read music, huh? Guess not. Doesn't look like we're able to lift the lid over the piano keys to play anything. It's an interesting picture. I'm not sure what it means, but it's an interesting picture. Barrels and probably not gold, probably like wheat or something on the ground, and a bucket. This is probably like in somebody's cellar, I would think, or something. Okay. Oh. Right. So this is supposed to, I'm guessing, right? This is supposed to be Abraham and Isaac, and this is the angel telling him don't. And then here's Jerusalem in the background or something, I guess. Not super familiar with the painting, but I mean, clearly it looks religious in nature, and I think it's depicting Abraham and his son. Generic standard lamp, still, it was elegant and tasteful. The place was full of exquisite, albeit aged, candelabras. A fancy red clock, which sadly wasn't functioning. I'm assuming the ticking we're hearing is from that bigger clock out in the front room. He did not say that one wasn't working, so I'm assuming that one's going, that grandfather clock or what is. Was it fully? I guess it was pretty much a grandfather clock anyway. Okay. Looked as if an untidy person enjoyed reading in the living room. April 20th. During a fit of rage, I burned my previous diary. Not that I regret it. As if any disjointed notes were worth anything. Their only purpose was to keep me sane. I feel that this is my escape route, my only means of what? Finding. The N's almost look like M's, so it becomes more difficult to read. Anyway, my only means of finding some inner peace. Whenever I put my pen to this paper, I feel that I can reflect upon any situation. I just wish I had more options. That's all. But I'm rambling. I must think clearly. Focus. Focus. That was April 20th. Okay. May 12th, I'm assuming. I think that's a 1. I've become an eternal guardian, stuck between 10 choices. No, stuck between few choices, none of which are good. Do I fulfill a promise and violate everything that I believe in, the very principles of my life, or am I condemned to spend the rest of my existence in this deadened state, a ghost with no other purpose than just being here, watching? I truly have no escape. I can't find an appropriate solution to this problem, and I must pay the price. I'm a shadow of the man I used to be. Only these notes remain my testament in these moments of meditation, my sole companion. So that was April and then May. Yep. June 26th. Today I spent the entire afternoon staring at the window, my mind a blank. Oddly enough, I really didn't care. It seems now as though it was something natural for me, a part of my personality. But I know the reason very well. I've lost my soul. I'm an empty shell, devoid of any feelings. I renounced them on that fateful day, and the worst thing is, I knew there were going to be consequences. No, that's not true. Consequences were far worse than I expected. How could I be so blind? January 25th? Is that a 5? Looks like it's a 5 but cut off. Or 1st, but we just had... Well, I guess it's true. We had June and then January. So, yeah, January 21st, I think. Even though it's a T, it should be ST. Okay, January 21st. I often wonder what would have happened if we had simply reversed it all. What would happen if right now I came out and told the world what really happened? No. I'd end up rotting in jail. Although that might be a better destiny compared to this eternal suffering. November 17th. I can't say for sure when it began. I just heard them one morning coming from the next room. The whispers. Are they real? Have I been alone for too long? They won't stop. I can't stand it any longer. February 9th. Ever since I locked it away that evening, ever since I locked it away, that evening seems to have calmed down a bit. Perhaps James was right after all. It's madness, I know. But at this point, I'd be inclined to believe anything. May. Over the years, I was convinced that everything James suffered was a misfortune, a whim of destiny. For the first time ever, I'm not so sure anymore. I never thought it could happen, but I believe I understand now. If this is so, then cursed be my soul. Poor James. If I had acted in another way, then maybe things would have worked out differently. But it's too late now, and I have to suffer my Calvary. September 13th. The noises are back, although this time they're different. Before, I'd only hear them inside my head, as if someone or something was whispering and, how to put this, interrupting my thoughts. But now, I can really feel them spreading around the house. What are they? September 14th. I've realized the noises are coming from down there. I don't want to think about it anymore. December. They are unbearable. They get worse at night. Oh, how I wish it would stop. What is going on down there? I don't dare go nearer. I don't want to know. March scribbled out May. Oh, how many years have passed? I've lost all sense of time. I have to get out of this place. The diary disturbed me in a way I couldn't explain, yet I felt curious about what had been tormenting the poor fellow. I wonder how long that cup of coffee had been sitting there. I think that's everything on this spot. Okay. Don't know if this is from the local town or just some other place, some other country or something in the world. They have a lot of these old classical style paintings, making me think that that other picture or whatever painting could definitely be of a completely unrelated place, right? Probably is, actually. The place is full of, yep, okay, some more candelabras. The fireplace had a generous amount of wood in it, and I was relieved to know that I could warm the place up in case it got cold. I'm certainly not good at chopping trees. Okay. Kind of a fancy schmancy thing here on top. And then this is, I think, I think this is supposed to be Zeus, but maybe not. This seems more like a Christian style painting, which means I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is that God maybe cursing the devil and stuff? I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. Go in here. Wait, maybe can we? Maybe we can't. Oh yeah, we can go in there, or we can go the other door. Let's just go in here. That's fine. Ooh, spoopy. Alright, so this is like a library or a den or something. Interesting. Okay, let's go this way. Can I even... I can't examine that, looks like. Oh, there we go. Just get closer that way. Glass was empty. Pity. I could have used a drink. Okay, that whole stack is just uninteresting books, I guess. Okay. Remnants of a previous fire. The stone in the fireplace was cold to the touch. Yeah, down, I guess. Place is full of... Okay, so this is a candelabra also? I guess so. It's not really candelabra I know of, but... I guess candelabra is a candle holder, so I guess that is, technically. It just looks different than what I picture when I see a candelabra, but I suppose that probably is one. Okay, back out here. Side table here we'll examine. Some cigars. No, smoking can kill you, especially when the cigars are decades old. Oh, does that make it worse? If cigars have been sitting around for a long time, they're worse for you? I didn't know that. I don't smoke cigars, so I don't know, but I didn't know that. Okay. I would say now I'm not promoting smoking or something by saying this, okay? But I would say smoking doesn't kill you if you only do it like once or twice. Again, I'm not saying go ahead and do it once or twice. I'm just saying you won't die unless you do it prolonged over time, right? And then you develop cancer potentially. I think cigarette smoking obviously does cancer of the lungs. I think also of the throat a little bit sometimes. Chewing tobacco will do the throat and the jaw, especially jaw and or gums. And then I think cigarettes actually does possibly cancer of the mouth and also cancer of the lips. I think if you develop it, and I'm not sure you develop it in all cases. I feel like cigars are probably the safest quote unquote way to use tobacco. Although I'm pretty sure there are cases where people get cancer from smoking cigars. And like I said, I think it's like mouth and lip cancer. Well, I'm not totally sure. Let's see. Shelves. Is that... Oh, that's going to pull up to there. Okay, hang on one sec. Just see if there's anything else behind. Not from this side, probably. Okay. So we'll pull up to the desk again. All right, we have paper clips apparently are not important. That far drawer is locked. I'm assuming none of these are going to... See, this looks like a car key or a trunk key or something. So I'm pretty sure this is not going to work, right? I tried that on the other, still, being silly, but I probably didn't even need to bother, right? I think this is only a front door key also, but we could try it. No, it didn't fit, yeah. Okay, let's see what else. Some sheets of paper there that don't mean anything, I guess. More books. So the journey of the sources of the Nile, or journey to the sources of the Nile, but I guess we don't have anything to say about it. Okay, if I do this, it's another journal, right? Okay. February 6th. The construction of the railway bridge is almost complete and went quite smoothly. It took longer than I expected, yet I wish it would have lasted longer. Despite the fact that I'm fumbling with my words, this is actually easier than reading the other diary entry. It also looks like it's a different person's handwriting. Okay, so it took longer than I expected, yet I wish it would have lasted longer. I'll be very sad to leave South Africa. I've become so attached to it, its culture, its arts over the past few months, that I can't help feeling as if it was already a part of me. I will surely return someday. Soon, hopefully. Although, I'm afraid there's a great deal of work to be taken care of back in old Britain. Fortunately, I made good friends here who were ecstatic about my new appreciation of their country. They've offered me some wonderful objects as a token of gratitude, which I already created and got ready to ship, along with many trinkets I bought myself. Yeah, see, that's where you get in trouble. I mean, supposedly, like in a lot of these classic horror stories, like The Monkey's Paw, you get some kind of ancient artifact from an obscure place, like some remote village in Africa, or like downtown streets in, like Saigon or something, where you don't know who the seller is, just somebody that has something. You get these, and then you take them back with you, and it's always tears. There's always some kind of curse that follows you back or something. Like Daniel and the orb in the, Amnesia game, the first Amnesia game. Anyway. So he bought some trinkets himself. It looks like I'm about to start a very substantial collection. It's a good thing Catherine agreed to move into our new home, although I fear several renovations will have to be made. Even more if I'm intending to start a serious new hobby. Okay, I wonder if that other journal was Catherine, and then this is the husband, whatever his name is. I wonder. It seems I'll have to get back to work. John Patterson has just told me some natives are causing trouble. A very unfortunate thing, although I'm secretly rejoicing. Yeah, because he gets to stay in Africa longer, right? He loved Africa, so he wants to stay. It makes sense. February 12th, the natives won't leave. It's not like they're causing trouble so much as they're unsettling our workers. The only complaint so far has been distraction. They just stand still between the trees staring at us without blinking an eye. I've watched them for a few minutes and they truly seem like some tenebrous statues. At first it was just annoying, but lately it's become downright creepy. They seem to be stalking us. So it's not like they're hindering the construction, but there's a general uneasy feeling as if they were about to jump at us at any moment. I think I will hire some protection as a measure of precaution. February 15th. Fascinating. I've been looking into these natives. They live in a nearby village and are a very small group, yet they seem to manage quite well. I'd thought of them as quite an uncivilized tribe, but their movements are calculated, and one can perceive a sense of careful organization in their tasks. Oddly enough, they seem to be very brutish, and their aspect looks awful, although I couldn't take a good look at their facial features as I followed one of them completely on my own, and it could have been dangerous getting any closer. Also, the village is poor and very rough, but some of the shacks leapt out as
inviting or special. It made me very curious. I'll try to come closer tomorrow. February 16th. My second expedition to the village of the natives has been foiled by an unexpected problem with the bridge. I'm afraid it was due to a slight miscalculation on my part, an indication that I should be focusing more on the task at hand and put my sudden love for all African things aside for a moment. It was my fault, and I accept it. February 20th. They are at it again, lurking beyond the forest. It's amazing how they've changed our perception of the surroundings. At first, we were delighted by the quiet nature of the place. Now, we fear what horrors might be concealed in that dark and foreboding cloak of trees. The tops loom above us, overshadowing the bridge, and strange noises haunt our meals. Even the river telling ungodly secrets. We could be, of course, a bit more sensitive towards distractions, but I can't help feeling the area has, in fact, become more sinister. And yet, I'm still looking forward to satisfying my curiosity about the tribe. February 24th. I don't know. I did notice earlier it kind of switched off and then switched back on. So, yeah, you might want to just stay on Twitch for chat at least. Sorry about that. On the positive side, the fact that you're on Twitch helps me with my Twitch stats, so there's that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube chat. Yeah, so Silhouette, if you watch and see this and you've been trying to say stuff, maybe try to switch over to Twitch chat. I don't know. Looks like YouTube chat was giving Fofox some problems. And also, like I said, I did notice, I can see the number of chatters that are connected to the stream, or the number of chat channels. So where chat would be showing up, that I have here on the left on my stream. And it shows 2 of 2, so Twitch and YouTube, and then it went to 1 of 2 for a bit, and then went back to 2 of 2. And I couldn't tell which of the 2, YouTube or Twitch, was having trouble, but it went from 2 to 1 and then back to 2. So if you're having trouble communicating, Silhouette, you might, if you can, you don't have to, of course, but if you want to chat, you might switch over to Twitch. They're not showing up on YouTube. That's very strange. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube is being weird. YouTube, seriously, YouTube's fine when it's fine, but when it's not, it's really a pain in the ass. Anyway, sorry. Hopefully it gets fixed. But in the meantime, I guess you could use Twitch. That's at least something. I'm looking at, too, there are, I don't remember what they're called now, but what the names of them are. There are a couple of other sites that also do streaming. I'm looking at doing another couple of streaming sites just so that I have a potentially greater audience overall, but also so that there are always backups and then backups to the backups. So if for some reason one service isn't working, you've got multiple services, other ways of potentially viewing my streams, but also chatting on the streams. So, okay, February 24th. At last, I found something more about the neighboring tribe. This is an incredible finding, and I just can't withhold my excitement. Some elders of the local town happened to know about them, but only through stories they heard. The most surprising thing is that the tribe was assumed to be extinct long ago, but according to my vague descriptions, the elders think that we could be dealing with a legend here. Everything they ever learned of them was during their childhood, when the tribe was stalking the town, much in the same way they have been stalking us. People used to call them something. I think that's an L, so Delaum. As such was the sound of screams heard echoing late in the night. They'd come out into the streets and see an evil glitter atop a hill in the distance. Some would say it was a fire, others the cursed spirit of an ancient god. Whatever it was, they say the bright light amid those fantastic screams was bone-chilling. The macabre scene would suddenly stop just as it had begun out of nowhere, never to be seen again in days to come. Intervals between those horrible nights became longer and longer, until they soon faded into oblivion. The tribe apparently had retreated back into obscurity. Until now. They were later known as the Dalmar, a rather more scientific name, although none of the people I spoke with could possibly remember its origin. I find it extremely surprising that nobody has ever heard about this tribe with the exception of a few townspeople. They must be incredibly rare, and judging by the stories passed on from generations in the town, very old. Yeah. Okay, and I do see that now, so that's good. Yeah, you don't have to chat. Like I said, I wasn't trying to say, oh, usually you chat. Why aren't you chatting? I was just trying to say if you're trying to chat and it's a problem, try on Twitch. Maybe those will come through. But yeah, don't feel like you need to chat, obviously. I'm just happy that, well, one, you're here supporting me. Obviously, that's awesome. But then two, I'm just happy that you're doing all right, whether you're chatting or not. My suspicion is at this point in the story that this guy, whoever he is, while he was down in Africa on this project, got a hold of one of these extra trinket things. And then he got a hold of, like, he bought one of the trinkets in a market or something. And either that or one of the trinkets or one of the things he was given by the locals, by the, people living in the town nearby or whatever, was cursed. Maybe even the locals didn't know it was cursed and they gave it to him. And now it's drawing this tribe to him. Maybe it has to do with some, like, I don't know, pagan god they worship or something. I'm not sure. So this journal that we're reading right now is written by a man, I think it's a man. I don't know for sure, but I think so. Because he talks about, like, he says a woman's name, like, she'll be happy to move into the new house or something like that, making me think that's his wife. So there's probably a guy. And I don't know for sure, but I think so. Anyway, he's down in Africa when he's writing these journal entries. Okay. I think the journal we read in the front room, was his wife. Definitely somebody else. The handwriting is different. I'm guessing it was his wife, and she started hearing noises and stuff because maybe the curse kind of passed from him to her somehow. I don't know for sure. I'm obviously don't have much information to go on, so I'm kind of making some assumptions, which in some cases admittedly are a bit of a stretch just because we don't know enough. That's what it feels like it could be right now. Just don't know for sure. Okay, so so they must be the tribe must be incredibly rare, and judging by the stories passed on from generations in the town, very old. February 27th. I will confess that I've become nearly obsessed with this strange tribe. I see them as the most prized goal of my appreciation towards all South African things, a dangerous yet irresistible reward. Okay, so he's in South Africa. I feel as if they were my discovery. I simply have to study them before leaving. I fear I won't have the chance to ever again. It's become an important goal of mine, even more important than finishing the bridge. Yeah, so he's like an engineer or something working on a bridge in South Africa somewhere. Okay, March 4th. Finally, I have managed to see them. What a disturbing spectacle. When we arrived, they were moving around the village very slowly without speaking or communicating with each other, each minding his or her own business, completely alien to the rest of the world. They were filthy looking, coarse, and downright disgusting. I couldn't see any weapons, but they could have been stored somewhere. It was all very strange behavior in a tribe. They must be quite unique. Then, as if they had suddenly all become possessed by some wild spirit, they began shaking spasmodically and screaming like mad. Some of them dropped to their knees and lift their heads to the sky, eyes blank, and moaning in an indescribable way. Two of them walked away, still in that monotonous and slow manner, and in great contrast to the rest of the scene, into a shack. The next minute, they brought out into the open an odd-looking mask. Its shapes, colors, and overall looks, while unsettling, were mesmerizing, and I felt instantly hypnotized by it. It rendered my modest collection of African curiosities into dull and uninteresting items. The mask was very ominous, and the whole tribe seemed to greatly revere it. Soon, they began to gather around it and move in circles, fluttering and chanting a guttural psalm. Judging by their motions and aspects of the whole ritual, it must have been some kind of war ritual. I'm not sure how to explain what happened next, as I feel my pulse is already throbbing. Words fail me to recount the most disturbing thing I ever witnessed. One of the male villagers walked into the middle near the mask by his own will. It was an almost automatic act. All of a sudden, the remaining members became silent. I can't tell for how long it lasted, but I was afraid to breathe. I think Dalby and the others were also scared. I assume Dalby's somebody, one of the workers with him or whatever. They wouldn't even blink. I remember being soaked wet and expectant. The silence was so unnatural. Then, a few members separated from the people circling the mask and jumped on the single villager, beating him to death. To be completely faithful to the event, a small crowd tore him apart. They grabbed his legs in twos and threes and twisted them in a manner I dare not describe. His face was disfigured with their bare fingernails and teeth, and the torso soon disappeared under the frenzied tangle of hands. In a matter of a few minutes, the villager was turned into a red sack of bones. Jeez, dude. Not one of the attackers had the compassion to snap his neck during the sickening process. All was very methodical, as if it was just another mundane task. The most terrifying aspect, though, was that the victim didn't even cringe. The silence was so deep, I could hear his flesh ripping. I would expect any living creature to scream its guts out in such a condition. I can't tell whether he was drugged or half asleep, but I did recognize him dancing like everybody else before walking into the middle of the circle. It was the most outrageous and sadistic sacrifice I've ever heard of. I don't think I will ever forget what I saw. My intentions of approaching further, even if they didn't have any weapons at hand, vanished. Those creatures, I dare not call them human beings, could have killed my whole company in the blink of an eye with their rage. They seemed to be completely out of themselves and willing to destroy anything intruding into their path. While the images of the sacrifice still haunt my thoughts, I still can't seem to forget that mask. It was so deceptively simple, and yet perfect in its design. I haven't seen anything like it. I surely would love to take a better look. I feel the Dalmar, dangerous as they are, could be the most important ethical finding in decades. Ethnical, not ethical. I was like, what they did was not ethical. Okay, anyway. Could be the most important ethnical finding in decades. What I've seen today is crying for some further investigating. I just can't leave them like that. I would never forgive myself. And the mask. That mask. Jeez. That's a rough experience. I was ecstatic after reading the journal. The material was incredible. Yeah, sure you were. Of course you were. Because you're a psycho and don't realize you've got something really terrible on your hands. Okay. I mean, I'm a writer too. I don't get like so obsessed that I think that crap is exciting rather than bad. Anyway, so we can't apparently look at anything that's in there. Whoops, that's not what I meant. God dang it. Go back. Okay, second drawer. More cigars. Okay. Third. Okay, we picked up something. Don't know what it is, but nothing else. Okay, so what did we get here? An envelope, apparently. It doesn't look like there's anything in it, and we can't right click just get you out of that. Click it, but then you can't double click this, nothing. So I don't think you can read that either. Okay. Oh. What is, and then we have this. This house is amazing. Far beyond my wildest dreams. This is the author, the writer, the guy that we're playing, I think. So this house is amazing. Far beyond my wildest dreams. Jerry's efforts have truly exceeded my expectations. I better get acquainted right away. Jerry says the electrician should be on his way to solve the lights problem. I feel relieved. I'm speechless. I've just read an incredible story about a mysterious African tribe. The personal memories of this James Blackwood person. Okay, so James Blackwood was his name. Even if it isn't true, it's simply terrific material. Judging by the stuff I've been seeing around, this Blackwood was really into African culture. Okay, so I think then that's locked. Yep. So I think that's everything for here for now. Okay. A huge selection of books was, or the huge collection of books was impressive. I would have gladly spent days going through them. All the same. I would guess these are all just the same thing, but the thing is you don't know if that one item. Oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, like this for example. Maybe not important, maybe it's important, but it says the Aleph by Jorge Luis Borges. It's Jorge Luis Borges probably. Anyway. Okay, more of the huge collection of book stuff. It was just some boring and annoying book entitled Worlds of Mist. Ha ha ha! Well done, well done. They're doing ode to the game Mist. Cool, I like it. Let's see. More books. Books. Okay, so those all seem to be just more of the he'd gladly spend all day reading the books stuff. Xexor, there's a lot of books to try to go to. I know, right? It's like so many. Okay, this one says, At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. The previous folks had taste, no question about that. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, this is what we were talking about before, right? At the Mountains of Madness is very loosely the Lovecraft story upon which Moons of Madness was based. Very loosely, because there's no Mars, no moons and stuff in At the Mountains of Madness, but there are some ties to that game with that. So, and then more of these again. The Necronomicon by Abdul Al-Hazred. Whoa. So we got Necronomicon, we got Worlds of Mist, we got At the Mountains of Madness. And what was the other one? Another title of some kind, right? I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was yeah, the Aleph. Yeah, that's right. I'm not familiar with the Aleph. I don't actually know that one. Okay, there's more. Huge collection of books. Apparently, they're not going to find anything significant in here. It's just a bunch of books and then a couple of slight Easter eggs where they tell you about some special book. Right. Then we got that. All right, let's focus on these now really fast. Several trophies for remarkable accomplishments adorned the room. Diploma granting the title of Construction Engineer to James C. Blackwood. Most of the clocks in this house weren't working. Okay. Let's go to exactly the same spot. Yeah. Okay, so nothing super special with that. Oh, that's the same. That's the same, okay. Try those doors. A light switch? I intended to brighten up the whole place, but to my surprise, the lights wouldn't work. Okay. Ooh, spooky. Spooky. Just kidding. I think this actually just goes out to that front, right? Yeah. See, we're back out front here again. Right. I figured they were going to be exactly the same room, just making sure. I think this is supposed to be Jesus after he died and then was resurrected, and they're looking at like wounds in his hands from the nails on the cross. So I assume these three are maybe Peter, James, and John, or they're at least three of the apostles. I think that's what those are. Okay. Just in case I tried again. Still, there was no power. Here. So I guess we're not trying to open these. What is it? I did a little glitch thing here. Oh, maybe it was just to the pointer. Doesn't look like we opened those at all. Okay, the upper ones. I couldn't decide what was more impressive, the incredible collection of books in the study or the amount of booze in the dining room. JB, my favorite. I wonder why it keeps reminding me of Falling Darkness. I don't know. Looks like we're not going to look at the dishes at all or any of the servingware. Blackwood, yeah, James Blackwood is the guy who went to Africa. This is his house, Blackwood Manor, and he wrote those journals, the ones that we just recently read in the study. And he was the one that was building a bridge in South Africa, and he encountered the natives and stuff. All of that is James Blackwood. I think Catherine, is his wife. And like I said, I'm not positive, but I think she's the one who wrote the journal in that front room over there, where she was saying she was hearing noises and stuff. A couple of beautiful vases made of shiny glass were standing on the table. I guess that's what happens when you don't water the plant for a long time. Yeah, the plant dies. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Okay. Yeah, same as before. Can I get the prompt? There we go. It was just some useless junk. A generic standard lamp. Still, it was elegant and tasteful. This isn't junk, dude. This is a Delft blue plate. That's like super, super cool. Delft blue, like it has to be official and everything. Yeah. I think it's actually nice. Useless junk, whatever. You guys are freaking jerks, is what you are. Okay, and then this, which is a farmer carrying a couple geese with him. I don't know what this painting. I'm not familiar with this one. Oh, I'm assuming it's not in the same. It's not the same name, or I'm assuming it's not the same manner. But yeah, it's the same name. I think. Yeah, correct. Don't say too much about Sinking City. I've actually not played it, and I plan on playing it. So, but yes, I know what you're talking about. The place was full of exquisite, albeit age. Yeah, it's the same as before. Okay. Tablecloths, napkins. That certainly isn't my thing. Okay. And this is a mirror, I think, reflecting what's over there. This. Yeah. See, it's definitely a mirror. Okay. Church of some kind. Were there any other directions? See, we came in. There were the stairs going up to the left. There was the landing, or under the stairs, right there. Then there was that small front little area with the phone. Oh, I don't think we really examined that front area, though, did we? We did look at... Let's go do that really fast. We looked under the stairs, but I don't think we actually looked at this room here. We answered the phone, and then we went back, and then we just went to the left, I think. Let's examine this. Okay. Let's see. No. That's to call somebody or answer the phone. Either way, right? And then... Mirror reflecting stuff over there. Okay. Whoops. Where am I going? Here. Okay. Here, painting of various horses. Some pretty pictures. Well, like an Asian picture instead of the other styles, which are more European generally. Generic standard lamp. Still, it was elegant and tasteful. Okay, so no up close analysis anyway. Yeah, those all do the same thing. Okay. So unless I'm missing something, this is just some stuff. Okay. Framed picture, another plate, although not a Delft blue one, and a vase, just to look pretty and stuff. Okay, that seems to be everything in this small front room. Okay, let's go back through. So we had, now just to recount, so we had the stairs to the left, we had under the stairs, which we looked at first. We have the room we just looked at. We have that front room. We have the study behind it. We have the dining room here. Yes, we've covered everything up to this point on this level. Yes, the YouTube chat is now showing 1 of 2 again, so it's definitely having issues. I'm not sure if it's going to resolve before we end the stream tonight. Alright, so now we'll proceed to the next room, which is... oh, a hallway. Oh, okay. Okay. Woman and her babies. It's hard to tell. I wonder if this is supposed to be Jesus. This is Mary, and maybe these are a couple of apostles? I'm not sure. It was just an ordinary vase. I didn't see any reason to bother with it. Several vases of African craftsmanship were standing against the west window. So this direction is west, apparently. Let some more light in. Seems like a good idea to me. We'll leave it open. Okay. We'll see if it closes on its own later. Oh, Sinking City. Okay, well that's good. No, that's fine. I mean, either way, even if you knew a lot, it's fine with me. I just was just in case you knew a lot. I just want to make sure you know don't give me too much information because I want to discover a lot of it myself. Once I feel like we've caught up enough with these videos with these games from Halloween, then I definitely will be plan on doing that. It might not be until the Halloween stream this year, although I might do it earlier. It just depends on when I get around to it. So some woman stitching or something. Not sure. Okay. I imagine not all these photos or these pictures are necessarily significant, although they might be also. It's hard to say. This looks more like a pope and maybe a subservient of some kind. Couple boys eating grapes and a melon. I think that's a melon, probably. Okay. Okay, this looks like maybe there's either he's dealing with worms and stuff in his food, which I think is probably the more likely thing, or possibly he has some kind of seafood, like these kind of look like they could be shrimp, mixed around with his fruit. It seems like a weird combination, so I'm thinking it's the first that this food started going bad. I assume these are probably indentured servants. Given some of this stuff, some of these appearances, but they're servants. This either could be in an Asian country, or it's possible these are immigrants in something like the UK or the United States or something. Possibly. It's hard to say. The generic standard lamp. Okay. Yep. And then, of course, reflection of this stuff. Okay. Try to get the drawer was stuck beyond hope. Okay. And this is in Britain, I believe. London, possibly, but I don't know if it's that city specifically. And now we are in the kitchen. Okay. Just an ordinary little table. Still no power. A key holder, except there weren't any keys hanging from it. There were plenty of kitchen utensils in the house, ready to be used. Okay. None of those seem to want to let themselves be opened. Door to the oven was firmly stuck in place. I don't know if at some point we're supposed to open this and get some of the wood from that front room fireplace. We could like shove that in as fuel, but alright. Doesn't look like we're zooming into the table in the middle of things. Let's go this way a little bit more. Plenty of kitchen utensils. Okay, that's the same as before, just different utensils. All the same. Looks like it. Alright. There's nothing important there, apparently. Or there. This probably leads out to the back. It looks like an outside window, of course, so in the door. Apparently the water wasn't running. I don't know if that's a problem or not. If someone were regularly living here, it might be, but for now, probably is alright, I guess. We'll just go ahead and take a knife so I could stab something that I don't know is going to be coming or something. All right. Was a nice rustic old-fashioned grinder. Right. There we go. And then, am I not using this screen? The grinder was open and waiting for anything to be tossed inside to test its blades. But apparently I can't do any of this grain. So is there other grain somewhere else I'm supposed to use? Don't know. Let's see. Countless jars and cans adorned the kitchen. Adorned. Apparently my nose is very slightly stuffed, but it's enough to make it hard to understand some of my words, I think, probably. Okay, nothing special there. Just a bunch of jars and cans. Okay. Well, I don't see. There must be something we're going to grind later, I would think, but I'm not seeing anything right now. Okay, and then this. The interior of the refrigerator was beginning for some was begging for some serious cleaning, not to mention a powerful disinfectant. Let's try this one first. The door to what I assumed was the basement was locked. I'm assuming this won't work, but we'll try it anyway, of course. Key didn't fit there, yeah. So we're going to have to find that key in order to be able to go farther, to go downstairs. Interesting. Not familiar with this painting either. I'm terrible with art. I have seen a lot of paintings. I don't remember almost anything about them. And then there are plenty of paintings that I'm sure other people are like, oh, that's that's blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I just don't, I've not really taken time to try to memorize them. Maybe I should, I don't know. But the practical photographer. Okay. Oh, I see. So not actually. Huh, okay. That's. So just a couple samples of some pictures she took, apparently. She or he, whatever. Somebody took. The topmost sheet of paper of the pile had some curious markings on it, so I grabbed it to have a closer look. So I probably need to do this. Okay. Housekeeping, old something A. I don't even know. Is that it? It doesn't open at all? Guess not. Okay, so we took a sheet of paper from here, although I don't know how I read it from here in my inventory. Maybe because I have special writings, maybe I have to put it, take it somewhere to do anything with it. I'm not sure. Okay. Um, nothing special about that table. Okay. Yet another mirror reflecting like mirrors do. Okay. Excuse me. It's getting close to the end of the stream, so good thing. It's okay to be yawning right now because we're getting close to the end. And then this looks like a painting with people from something like Spain or something, possibly North Africa, maybe. Hard to say. Okay. Some of these things that seem to be like African oriented could tie into the whole experience with the native tribe, the Dalmar or whatever, and their ceremony and whatever else. Okay, so this just a vase with flowers, I guess. Okay, and then that's nothing. That's nothing. The bed in this room was miserable looking. Why did it go to a hand? Oh, I see. Practical photography, class and paper. A manual, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, that's not a... Okay. It's not a permanent inventory item. We only keep it for a certain... Or we only look at it like the front cover of it or whatever. Okay. Yeah, okay. It was just some useless junk. So it's basically you inside the drawer? What? Well, you're useless. You're also junk, so why not? Okay. It looked like whoever stayed in this room loved photography. Oh, the bathroom, huh? Apparently the water wasn't running. Okay. The sink was covered with a thick coating of dust. It looked as if the cleaning ladies had skipped this room. Huh. Smell coming from the toilet prevented any further investigation. I don't know what that... I was looking at the lid, not the actual stuff in there, but that's fine, I guess. Evidently, this bathroom had been used as some kind of dark room. Oh, interesting. Oh, do I need... I must need some special way to grab this. I mean, I'm guessing this is... Well, maybe. Maybe or maybe not. But this could be a clue that we need. Looks like it's pretty much just a picture of the room just outside here, I would think. Well. Anyway... Gee, I know that place. Excuse me. So this is probably... was it Charles? I don't remember what his name was now. What his first name was. Charles or whomever. That's probably who that is. And then his wife. Caroline or whatever. I have to like zoom out with each one and zoom back in. Here's that mausoleum or whatever, the chapel outside that we can't get into right now. The fountain. Okay. Is that... I wonder if there are clues here. Then when we go back outside to the place, we'll find something from here there that we didn't notice before. Probably. Well, probably. I don't know about probably, but very possibly. All right. So that seems to be the tour of the facilities, as it were. And this, I think, is the like the master bedroom or whatever, and this is they had their own bathroom or something too, although or maybe just the bedroom, but I don't know for sure. It's a little bit hard to say, but we're back in the kitchen. Goes back to the hall. Ooh, spoopy. Super spooky. Not really. All right, well, we're going to stop here. And I'm going to save it. We'll do this. Right, and then we'll quit. Yep. Yeah, and that's like I mentioned, I believe I mentioned before, Augustin Cordes is the programmer and the story writer and stuff for Scratches, and he's got another game that's coming out. It's not out yet, called Asylum. Once that's ready, then I'll be playing through that too, and that'll be good. But for now, that's not a thing. So, not until it's released. Anyway, yep, thanks for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing more Homesick. I will be about an hour late tomorrow. Just FYI. Peace.